Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. It's Friday, and that means it's time once again to recap the most interesting and informative moments from a widely varying week of discussion on our daily talk show, Barnstable This Morning. For starters, we go back to Monday, December 6th, to our weekly chat with Town Manager John Klim. Last Sunday, the Cape Cod Times ran an article examining the first calendar year at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Using that as a jumping-off point, the manager gave us his own assessment of the HYCC's successes and shortcomings thus far.
First, I want to congratulate Lynn Poyant, Dave Curley, and Patty Machado, and all of the folks that work each and every day at our youth center. It really is not only the talk of the town, but the talk of the region, and it has been an extraordinarily exciting year. The article pointed out what is working well and what needs to be reevaluated. Dave Curley mentioned that we will be probably using one of the rinks, putting a floor service on one of the rinks during the summer months because there is such a demand for those types of activities. But all in all, the revenues came in, the number of people utilizing the facility far exceeded our expectations, and we look forward to a really exciting second year over there at the Youth and Community Center. The other point is that it's an important part of the revitalization effort of that portion of the village of Hyannis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We not only have a beautiful Youth and Community Center, we have Bursa's Way coming to its conclusion in terms of the renovations. We just received a $1 million grant to extend the renovations down High School Road all the way to Main Street. So a lot of exciting things happening in this section of Hyannis.
The Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority late on Monday afternoon held a commissioning ceremony for a brand new 100-kilowatt wind turbine, which now helps to power its operations center in South Dennis. Our cameras were on hand as the switch was thrown, and on Tuesday, December 7th, we recapped the big event on Barnstable This Morning. So here's a look at the wind turbine itself, and it's the standard size of what you're seeing now on Cape Cod. As I mentioned, at our water pollution control facility, it's that size is 100 kilowatts. The one that you see over at Hyannis Country Garden, I also believe 100 kilowatts as well. And now we'll take a look in a second here at the ceremony. Of course, there's Tom Kerr, the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority Administrator, and it was a pretty good crowd of speakers that came by to speak. Also, in addition to Tom, you see there Mark Forrest. He is the Chief of Staff of outgoing Congressman Bill Delahunt. Mark, of course, has been the Chief of Staff for Congressman Delahunt for close to 15 years. And there is Congressman-elect Bill Keating. He said a few words as well. And kind of one of the interesting things that happened is that Congressman-elect Keating was talking a little bit about how the project was funded by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. He said he prefers to call them stimulus funds, not recovery funds, because it's easier to be stimulated by something than it is to recover from something. And here's the group actually cutting the ribbon, and what you'll see in a second, that door there with the vents will open, and the Assistant General Manager of the CCRTA will walk inside and actually throw the switch on the brand new wind turbine. And to tell you a little bit about the turbine itself, like I said, it is a 100 kilowatt wind turbine, and it's expected to offset 181,000 kilowatt hours over at the operations center in South Dennis, which is a little bit over 50% of the total energy that they use. Also, expected greenhouse gas reductions will be a little bit under 260 tons per year. So certainly a clean and green operation over there at the CCRTA, and as I mentioned, the first of its kind. It was a pretty cool thing to behold there on a very, very cold afternoon yesterday afternoon, but we were certainly glad to have been invited and to bring you the footage of the first ever wind turbine at a transit authority funded by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. On Business Wednesday, we talked with Hyannis Main Street Bid Executive Director Elizabeth Werfbane about the continually changing face of Main Street in Hyannis. Specifically, we focused on Girton Brothers Jewelers, a longtime fixture on Main Street that will soon join Artifacts Furniture as another high-end store to go out of business this year. This is the second business to bow out of the Main Street scene in just a few months, the first being Artifacts, and that's a giant storefront that's still empty right now. Are you a little bit worried?
No. I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds like, they might be linked to something greater in the economy. I think that that's a small part of it, but I also think that, I mean, if you see, I don't know if you've met the owner of Girton Brothers, Dean Smith. He's been there for 37 years, and you know, you know, it's a much older kind of store. You know, they really rely on people who buy wedding presents and inscribe them, or buy very expensive, beautiful jewelry, mind you. But in this economy, that sort of model has evolved over the years, and same with Artifacts. You know, a giant store selling, you know, really nice quality, made in America, expensive furniture has also evolved. You know, you see much more of like the kind of people have things shipped. They go to IKEA. You know, it's a very difficult market to be in, and you know, and there aren't any. The sales reps used to sell them the furniture, and there aren't as many sales reps in the country anymore. So there's a lot of different aspects to it, as well as the fact that in Artifacts also, you know, John and Maggie wanted to retire, and you know, and they want to see their grandchildren go to Florida. So it's really kind of a cycling out of, you know, of a couple of businesses, you know, as well as the economy is tough, and you know, so a new vision of a business could come in and, you know, and do quite well. Like,
as the old saying goes, the only things certain in life are death and taxes. And on Thursday, December 9th, we talked about the latter. Not your most favorite thing to hear about, I'm sure, but still a lot better than life's other certainty. Finance Director Mark Milne explained to us that third and fourth quarter FY 2011 tax bills are going out at the end of this month, but there's a bit of a wrinkle that residents living in the Cotuit Fire District should be aware of.
Yeah, this is the third and fourth quarter FY11 tax bill.
All right.
Or what we refer to as the actual tax bills.
Gotcha.
The first two are what's called preliminary tax bills, and those are based on last year's taxes. And these are now that the council has set the tax rate at their hearing, their last hearing, we can go forward and submit all the information to the Department of Revenue, which we have done. We're waiting for them to approve the tax rate. We don't anticipate any problems. Once they approve the tax rate, we'll be able to send the file up to our printer and get the bills out for everybody for the third and fourth quarter fiscal year 2011. We have one, and that includes the town and the fire districts, except for one fire district. As you probably have heard, the Cotuit Fire District had 2 Prudential Committee members recently resign.
Yes.
And so they are not able to hold a tax classification hearing where they set the tax rate until they have the two new members elected.
Right.
And
okay.
I believe their election's scheduled for December 21st.
Okay.
And so soon thereafter, they're going to have to hold a public hearing for a tax classification hearing. And then after they conduct that hearing and set their tax rate, we can send all their paperwork up to the Department of Revenue and get their tax rate certified, and then we'll be able to print their tax bills.
Okay.
So the tax bills that are going to go out at the end of this month will include the town taxes for everybody and 4 of the 5 fire districts. The residents who live who are part of the Cotuit Fire District will not see any Cotuit Fire District taxes on their tax bill.
Okay.
They will be receiving another tax bill later on this fiscal year just for the Cotuit Fire District taxes when their situation gets corrected.
Remember, if you'd like to see any of these complete interviews, full-length episodes of BTM are available to watch online. You can find them in the town's Channel 18 video archives at town.barnstable.ma.us. Well, that's all for now. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.